わさびアニメすごいですね。
Hey everyone, welcome to the Game Room. I am your host, Ian Ashland, also from the Decall Darkstar Twitch channel. And with us today, we have the president of Japanime Games, Eric Price. So just a quick introduction. Again, my pronouns are they, them, or he, him. And I'm here to be your host. Eric, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm the owner and president of Japanime Games, and Ian has invited me to come here and play my game today, which is great.
Yeah. And in addition, we'll be talking about a history of Japanime Games, asking Eric all kinds of questions about just how the company came to be, what's new on the horizon, various other things related to the company Japanime Games itself. While that's going on, we will be playing a game or two of the multiplayer version of the Tanto Cuore Beta for the digital version of the game. So we'll go ahead and actually hit the play button, but we can get started. And Eric, if you want to give a quick heads up, I know you'd mentioned that there were a couple things that you wanted to share just about what's going on lately, and we can start with that if you like.
Well, we've been doing a whole lot of work on a lot of the anime licenses we have coming up. That's been a big focus at the company recently. We've announced a few of them through Crunchyroll and through Funimation, but right now we're working on a Black Clover game and a Banana game.
Ooh, very nice, very nice.
We haven't actually announced it yet, but I'm also working on a Love Live Sunshine game.
Ooh, that's gonna be interesting.
It's announced now. It's official.
You heard it here first, everyone.
So yeah, we've got those. I've got other things that are in the works. Well, actually, another thing I haven't announced yet, but I might as well. We're working on Sword Art Online Alicization.
Oh, nice. So that would be a follow-up to the Sword Art Online game that is already available, or is it
a completely different game? Completely different game.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So we might go back and revisit that sometime in the future, but where we're focusing on Alicization, and then we'll be bringing some role-playing games into the mix as well. We're talking about tying in some Besom with some of the anime licenses we have.
Yes, that would be. I would love to see that. Besom is one of my favorite role-playing game settings, so yeah. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, awesome. It could be quite interesting to see what we can come up with here.
Definitely.
Oh, we're not playing with Kagari. That's no good. Well, Saffron it is.
yeah. Saffron strats are the way to go for sure.
Yeah.
And also, thank you to Crisis Cloud for the raid. I just saw that come in. Appreciate you bringing your community over to join us today. We're playing Tanto Cuore Beta with our good friend Eric Price and answering some questions. So thank you very much. Speaking of questions, I guess I'll ask the first question, which is very broad, which is, what is the story of Japanime Games? Like, how did it come to be?
That's pretty broad.
So
kind of funny. I just was discussing this with someone earlier today because there's an organization that we're working with to do donations coming up. But I'll talk about that later. But I was telling them about the background of the company. So I'm from Seattle, and I had a comic book store in 1993, which seems like, I don't know, a whole universe ago. But that's when Magic came out.
Mm-hmm.
And comics were kind of on the decline, and Magic blew up big very quickly. And I was right there in the middle of it all. So I just started, got into games from that. I started bringing in Magic cards and selling them in my shop, and then changed directions from comics into gaming.
Yeah.
So over the years, as Magic got bigger and bigger, I started traveling to all the Magic Pro Tour events, and then eventually the Grand Prix events. And then Magic came out in Japan, and it was a huge explosion.
Yep.
So I ended up going to Japan all the time. for several years, I was flying to Japan every other month.
Wow.
And I ended up meeting these people that were making games in Japan. So that was the beginnings of how I got things started off with Japanime Games. And eventually, some of my friends that I was doing business with way back when started ArcLight Games. And then I started working with them, bringing their games, such as Tanto Cuore, over to the States.
Nice.
So
awesome.
I had a game store in Seattle until about 10 years ago. And that's when I sold the store and decided to focus exclusively on publishing our own games. So that's the quick background.
Nice. No, thank you so much for sharing that. That's awesome. And that's such a cool thing to think that a lot of this stuff came out of one having a comic/game store and kind of being there at the forefront of a lot of the boom that eventually built up the industry quite a bit. So that's very cool. So let me go into, I guess we're in the midst of playing a game right now. So I will ask, who is your favorite maid from Tanto Cuore?
Well, Lucienne.
Nice.
Yes, she gives you an extra serving every round when you have her in play, and as I'm sure you're aware, the game is all about the servings.
It very much is.
So she's not in play at the moment. Hopefully we get her to come out.
Yeah.
She's one of the private maids.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, my favorite is Lalande. Actually, this is right there. Because for me, I'm all about give me as many cards in my hand as I need to be able to do all kinds of crazy things. So, big fan of that. Let's see. All right, and we're gonna do this, and then let's see. I'm easily distracted here, so we're gonna do. Oh yeah, that's what we want. All right. Sorry, as I'm just playing that bit, but let's go ahead and take a look here. So what is your favorite tabletop game, just in general? And you can share, if you want to give us both your favorite out of the ones that Japanime Games puts out, and then your favorite in general, whether or not those happen to be the same or not.
Well, definitely my favorite Japanime Games title would be Tanto Cuore, because it's the first game that I actually published.
Yep.
When I first was thinking about making this game years ago, I brought it back from Japan, was talking to some friends about it in Seattle. And I remember I was at this Mexican restaurant with a friend showing him this game. And he's like, I don't understand. A game about maids? Who's going to want this? That's crazy. And I'm like, yep. I don't know. It's like this big thing in Japan. They love maids. And he's like, I don't think you should do it. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. And I'm glad I did.
Well, I'm glad you did too, because this game, one, is a really, really fun game.
It's
and
a great
two,
game.
And two, it is a very just a fun, like the aesthetic is beautiful. I mean, look at this art. This art is absolutely gorgeous, and just it's a lot of fun. And I love deck builders, so it's a win-win as far as that goes for me. Let's see.
Yeah, it's a great game. And as far as other publishers, Sagrada is one of my favorite games.
Ooh, that one's not one I've heard of before. What's that?
It's a great game. It's done by a friend of mine. Oh, look at all this love I have. I can go ahead and take your favorite private maid.
You can.
Oh. I can. It's your turn now. Sagrada is a game about making stained glass windows, and it's based off of La Familia Sagrada, which is the giant cathedral in Barcelona.
Okay.
And, which is a beautiful building. It's a dice game, so it's got all these different dice with different colors that represent the stained glass. So you're making stained glass windows, and you have to make them in a certain way.
Ooh, I like that. That's very cool. Yeah. I'll have to check that out.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Nice.
Let's see. Let's get rid of some of those. Get some more servings. Oh my goodness. I have so much love. Do I need it? I've got no point to discard anything right at this point, so I'll just play all this love. Here we go.
Yep.
6 love again.
Oh my goodness.
Look at me go.
I mean, it's only fair that you should have that much love. Let's be real.
I know. I should get all the love.
That's true. So I know you did talk about some of the licenses that you're working on currently, which is great.
Yeah.
What if you could pick any anime property that you don't already have like work with in some kind, that like your dream anime property to do a licensed game with? What anime would it be?
Evangelion.
Oh yes, okay, all right. What kind of game do you think it would be if you did an Eva game?
There's different things. So we've got a great mecha card game
Yes.
called Core Connection.
I love that game so much.
And which is not based off of any license.
Right.
It's done by a group of Japanese game designers. But we could do that style of game. We could do a mini style game, which I think would be amazing. But I mean, there's so much you can do with it, whether it's a battle in the sky, battle on the ground, you know. But the ideal thing, I think, would be a mini style game.
Nice. I like that a lot. Although even just having that layered over Core Connection would be really interesting. We're in that same kind of style. I do love that. And actually, spoiler alert, the theme for 2 months from now for this show, we will be doing a 4-episode series featuring Core Connection. So just keep that in mind. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, I just saw that I got some illness over here.
Yeah, I might have been playing a little dirty over here. It's just because you took my favorite maid. I can't.
Okay, I need to get some 3 love to get rid of that illness.
You do. That is accurate.
But I need 7 love to get the 3 love.
Oh yeah, because we don't have Claire. We don't have our illness cleaner this time. This is the first time I've actually seen this rotation of cards, because like I haven't seen Genevieve at all pop up in any of the games I played so far, and
really?
this is a nice arrangement. I like it. All right, so I'm gonna jump to.
Oh, let me see.
Oh, go ahead.
You can see my screen here, right? Or
not
my screen. You can see my video.
Yes, I can see your video.
So I'm gonna quickly show you this. New card sleeves we're making. We haven't shown anybody these yet.
Is that like I can't quite tell. Is that like a cat and a banana?
That's exactly what that is.
That is so cute. I love it.
I know. It's pretty awesome. This is Banana. It's the kitty who lives in a banana. Yes. And here's another one. They're kind of crazy,
that's my
adorable.
favorite.
Yeah. You like Black Clover?
I do like Black Clover, actually.
Right.
Let's see.
This is coming soon.
Ooh.
Just some samples I have sitting on my desk here.
Nice, very nice. Love to see it.
And then we've got a whole set of play mats coming out with some of these licenses and card sleeves and doing all kinds of different accessories, along with board games and role-playing games that we'll be bringing out over the course of the next year.
Nice, very cool, very, very cool. And also my wallet is already crying, but in a good way. So let's take a look here. So I'll ask the next question, which is what does a typical day look like for you, just in terms of your work day?
I don't sit around and play games all day, if that's what you're wondering.
I mean, one could hope, but
one could hope. So let's see. I'm going to discard this and then play that. And a typical day. Sometimes I do sit around here and play Tanto Cuore online for play testing, but luckily we have a lot of beta testers now that are helping out with all that. Yeah. And we do some testing, but quite often I get up in the morning and I'm just jumping right onto my computer. First thing is espresso. Yep. But a lot of emails, a lot of work on the computer. Generally, back in the day, hey, how am I? Oh, I played my love, so I can't chamber Colette now.
Nope.
I screwed that up.
Oops.
I screwed that up. It's all your fault. Okay.
Yeah.
So
I'll take responsibility for that.
Generally, I'm traveling an awful lot. I go to a lot of anime conventions, a lot of game conventions, and haven't been doing that so much this year or the last year. But we are now starting to plan out conventions again. I am actually getting my shot tomorrow.
Ooh, congratulations.
I just got an appointment to go get my vaccine shot tomorrow, so that's
Excellent.
good news.
Yeah.
And so we're starting to plan out end of year conventions, and I believe that we're going to make it to Gen Con.
Yes, that'll be amazing. That'll be very, very cool.
Yeah, so all of these, I mean, it just seems like so much of America is getting vaccinated now. So I feel like it's starting to get realistic to plan out conventions.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Speaking of the pandemic, I guess I'll dive into my deep hard question, which is I'm never going to refer to it as that again. But what has been the most interesting thing you've learned in adapting to the changes in the industry in the wake of COVID-19?
Well, a very interesting thing has been this trade show that's going on this last week. The GAMA trade show, Game Manufacturers Association, has been digital. And there's so many conventions that were digital over the last year. But what's really cool about this one is people can log in and then go from room to room to see other people, and exhibitors set up their booth in these different rooms. And you can play videos, you can invite people to come look at a demonstration of a game, and you can just chat with people moving around from room to room. It's pretty neat.
That is very neat. That's very cool. And that's also addresses a lot of like one of the challenges is to like, how do you create the convention experience for people in a sort of virtual sort of safe space? So that's really cool that GAMA's kind of figuring that out in a way that seems really interesting. So I like that.
And apparently, I mean, it just got announced, but apparently Gen Con is going to have some type of digital and physical event that they're doing at the same time this year. So I don't know what that digital event's going to look like, but it might be similar to this. The program is called Spatial Chat, and so you can basically move around and chat with people.
Nice. That's cool. They're going to leverage PlayStation Home. I mean, no, wait, I'm just kidding. Sorry, just my brain association. But no, I love that. That's very, very cool.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, completely unrelated, let me just ask, just completely unrelated, what is your absolute favorite anime film?
Let's see. I mean, I'd have to say Spirited Away, I guess. But overall, you know, I've seen it many, many times. But anything Miyazaki is amazing. But also, back to Evangelion, it's what got me into it so many years ago. Cowboy Bebop, obviously not a film, but
well, there was a movie.
And have you heard anything about the live action?
I've seen little bits and pieces, but I'm kind of trying to like just wait and experience it all when it actually happens. So to see what it's going to be like, because I'm like 50-50 on like it being like a thing that I'm going to enjoy or not. So I'm like, I don't know. But yeah.
Oh my God, what do I discard here?
Everything.
Everything. Who needs love? Let's just get rid of love. And
who needs
play
love?
Some of this. Play some of this. Oh my God.
Oh no, you've already bought 3 Ophelias?
It's crazy stuff.
You're gonna like destroy me this game.
So I've got 1 serving.
And I would say
I'm gonna be able to chamber those.
I do love all the Miyazaki films for sure. Although I think Princess Mononoke is still my favorite of all of them. Yeah. Although no, actually that's a lie. Nausicaa and the Valley of the Wind is my actual favorite. And it was actually one of the first ones I ever saw, weirdly enough. And then, but my actual favorite anime film, period, it's a tie between Millennium Actress and Tokyo Godfathers. Both of which are very, very good. I don't know if you've ever watched either one of those. They're by Satoshi Kon, the same person who made Paranoia Agent and Perfect Blue and a couple others. But they're both really, really just very charming and unique.
Yeah.
Very personal stories, and they're just and they're gorgeous. They're absolutely gorgeously animated, and just like yeah, I literally bought them on Blu. I actually got to see them in theaters again recently because they re-released them, and then I picked them up on Blu-ray specifically just so I could show them to other people.
Okay. Well, yeah, go ahead and send me a link. I'll take a look at it sometime.
Yeah, definitely will. All right, let's see here. And let's go.
So a big thing for me was making the Cowboy Bebop board game last year, because that was, like I said, one of the first anime that I was really into just around 20 years ago. And so that was pretty exciting to actually produce a board game based off of that. That was pretty cool.
And a really good one, by the way. That is a very, very fun game. And again, an interesting deck builder that I enjoy playing a lot. It was actually the thing I was most hyped for last year, since PAX East was the last thing that I could do before everything kind of went wild. And it was really cool to be able to see that and to demo it and to play that a bunch. I'm actually a little bit bummed that I didn't get to play it much after that, because obviously we were keeping things a little isolated, but I'm looking forward to play that more. And actually, again, spoiler alert, that'll be our focus for the second month of this show. So we're doing Tanto Cuore Beta for the rest of this first 4 weeks, but then we'll be highlighting the Cowboy Bebop game as the next series beyond that. So
yeah, we were playtesting that game. We were playing it tons. I got the original sample copies in Christmas 2019, and over the holidays we played that game over and over and over, and we were all ready when it came to PAX East.
Yep.
But sadly, that was our last convention.
Right?
That's crazy.
Speaking of PAX East, and it might be, again, too early to say because it's still weirdly early, and also I think they're doing a hybrid model as well, but I believe they're planning to still have an event in early June, I think. June or July, something like that. Do you know if you're going to have plans to have any sort of presence there, or probably not just because it's still too soon, or can't really say yet?
If there's a digital aspect, perhaps, but I don't think that we're going to be ready to do that.
That makes sense.
In June. Yeah, I think October is the soonest that I'm personally going to be ready for it.
Yeah, and that makes a lot of sense to me as well, and it's just interesting to see as things are opening up and how that kind of works, but always good to ask and just question. So in a more generalized way, and this is kind of talking about the industry as a whole, what role do you see tabletop gaming playing in kind of community building?
Community building. Well, I've been a part of conventions as long as I can remember, going to so many anime conventions and gaming conventions and promoting all the gaming. And I mean, there's been tournaments. I was playing Magic tournaments in the mid 90s nonstop. So, I mean, that's obviously a community aspect. In my store, we ran events. It's a third place, as they say, a place for people to go hang out. I mean, it's a lot more fun than just drinking in a bar, right?
Right.
But now we have actual bars that you can play games in too. So
yeah,
like Mox Cafe and places like that. So
yeah, and yeah.
Not that most of them are open right now, but soon we're getting there.
Yeah, we have one near us called Arcadia that's an amazing place, and they actually did a crowdsource to get a bigger, more safe for social distance location that they're going to be opening up, I think, in May, something like that, with the plan of, as things are able to be more safely gathered again, will also turn into a performance space too, which is kind of interesting because it used to be the place that they're acquiring used to be a performance hall near us, which is much larger than their old space, which again, originally they were like, we want this so that we can, like, if people want to come and play pinball or play a tabletop game, they can be safely distanced from anyone else that's like over by the bar or whatever and do that, but with the idea that they'll eventually leverage the space for more things as it becomes safe to do so, which is cool. So it's neat to see that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah. I'm finally gonna chamber one of these things here. There we
Oh,
go.
nice.
Goodbye, Colette. Get out of my deck. Oh, look, I've got 11 love. What do I do? What does a boy do with 11 love?
What doesn't a boy do with 11 love?
Wow.
I mean, get more love. I'm just kidding.
there's more love that can be had. I think I'm gonna get an Anise. I'm not ready to start buying Marianne's.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I'll just get a Genevieve. Okay. That was quite a turn.
That was quite an
Alright.
impressive turn, no less. So speaking of the tabletop games industry in general, what is it specifically about the industry that like you love?
I love that most everybody I know in the game industry is very inclusive. Obviously, by the very nature, gamers, people that play games are fairly rational-minded people because it's analytical processes, playing games and thinking about the strategy of the game and all of that. So, I don't want to say non-gamers aren't smart, but generally speaking, gamers are.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of good people, inclusive people, welcoming people. So inclusivity is one of the biggest things I would say that I love about our industry and the people in the industry.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. And I would agree based on my particular experience in the area as well. So if you, again, sort of sliding back into more general fun questions, what is your favorite genre of anime? I have a feeling I'm already going to know the answer based on previous answers, but I'm still curious.
I like giant robots.
Yes, same.
So, sci-fi as a whole has always been, I love sci-fi. So,
yeah.
But I really like some of the isekai stuff, like the slime show. There's some good stories there, but I tend to like sci-fi over fantasy, I guess.
Yep. That makes sense. Are there any like weird anime that you've watched recently or in the past few years that like not a lot of people know about, but you're like, hey, this is a really cool thing you should check out?
I don't know if it's necessarily not a lot of people know about it, but Dora Hedoro is certainly weird. But it's Netflix, so it's probably fairly well known.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking. I actually am not, like, when you said the title, I was like not sure if we're familiar, and then I'm thinking I'm pretty sure I've seen it on my list of things to watch.
It's a bizarre story, but it's fun.
Nice.
What do I want to do here? Well, play that card, of course. Draw that card. Bam! All the love. Oh, what the heck? Let's get a Marianne.
Why not?
Why not? All the love, all the points, all the maids.
I still have to say, one of my favorite quality of life things is that they made it so you can right click on the deck and see how many you bought of various things. Makes life so much easier. All right. Let's grab that. Oh, it looks lovely. Let's do that. And we'll get rid of one of those. And I guess we'll do that. And we'll do this. And one of those. And more of that, sure, I guess. Yeah. It's more servings than I needed, but that's okay.
It's funny you mentioned that. So I didn't even realize that had been put into the game yet. So the deck breakdown.
Yeah, it's really nice. It's really, really nice. Especially if you're trying to keep track of how many Ophelias you've bought.
Right.
Let's see. What do I want to buy? You know what? Probably not the best choice, but I'm going to buy it anyway. We're going to grab that, and we'll grab ourselves an extra one. Who doesn't need a little extra love? All right. Yeah, the maid noises that pop up are pretty good. It really is. It really is fun. And yeah, I was going to say, one of my favorites, so you'd mentioned your first anime, and I just was thinking back to mine. And my technically I got two because I got kind of shown to me at the same time. My very first anime was Ranma One Half, which is which is a property I would love to see some kind of game done for. Like I know it's been in a very like a couple like the I think it was, what was it called, was it Animehem game years ago, trading card game, but other than that it hasn't really popped up. But I would love to see that available in some sort of game, tabletop game setup would be really fun. But the other one, and this one's kind of weird, and I wish that it was more available, was Project Echo. I don't know if you ever watched that or saw it. It's a like 80s, like very 80s.
I remember it, but I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I remember it existing.
Yeah, no, it was very weird because it started off as like a regular like worldly like standalone, like you have these two just like kind of lead characters, but then they're also like interstellar bounty hunters going after one another.
Oh yeah.
And it's just like this weird escalating like competition between the two of them that was really fun. So that's kind of what made me fall in love with anime at the beginning, was that, and then I ended up having from there fell into things like The Dirty Pair and then Bubblegum Crisis and so on and so forth, which I think Bubblegum Crisis is actually still one of my favorite anime series. It's very good, and also gave me my foundational love of cyberpunk anime, which I think is probably my particular brand of favorite genre.
Yeah.
But
did you like the Alita Battle Angel movie?
I actually really did.
I did
so
too.
That was actually, and here's the funny thing. Out of the most recent live action conversions of anime to film, Alita is one of the ones that I think did the original, both the OVA and the actual manga, genuine justice, and I thought they did a really good job with it. It was definitely very obvious that it was made by someone who was a fan of that story.
Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I thought it was really well done.
Yeah. It was actually fun, like, and just like little bits that were just like viscerally like the literal and the very literal and figurative metaphor of her handing the boy her heart. I was just like, oh right. It hurts me. Don't do that. But it was so good. And then oddly enough, and this is probably going to be there's some controversial opinions around this, but I actually really enjoyed the live action Ghost in the Shell as well.
That's funny because I was just thinking about that, and you know what? I still haven't seen it.
Oh, really? It's don't get me wrong. The criticisms that were made for it were legit criticisms, but they actually were pretty faithful to the original concept, and visually it was gorgeous, and it was actually a pretty well constructed movie overall. Was it perfect? No, but it was still one of the better adaptations I've seen of an anime to live action.
I remember when it came out, there was a lot of complaints about whitewashing with Scarlett Johansson, but I mean, the Ghost in the Shell android isn't Japanese, right? So
the actual body isn't Japanese the character is, but the body is not. And what's even more interesting is that in the actual this is technically a little bit of a spoiler alert, but the whitewashing is actually like a legit plot point. Like it's like the reason why she's in that body is because they were trying to like mask her original identity. And so it actually like had it was again a legitimate criticism because they could have very easily not done that or not chosen to go that way, but they also did use it to good effect, I think, in that particular story. So that's why it's like I still actually really enjoyed it overall. Oh my god, this is a lot of love. All right, let's do something useful with it.
Maybe you should play some more love.
Probably.
Or is that all your you bet all your love out? All your love is out on the table.
All my love is out for everyone to see. All right. Let's see. What do we want? Big love indeed. All right.
Interesting licenses. I just picked this up. And Junji Ito.
Yes.
All kinds of crazy stuff. I think we could do some really cool things with some of his art.
I would agree.
We actually have a Japanese horror game on Kickstarter right now called Chainsomnia.
Yeah,
it's like cute horror.
Yeah,
But this horror is pretty far out. Crazy
yeah.
stuff.
Junji Ito has some very, very interesting, interesting art and stories that he
That's an
brings out.
interesting one. Looks like Lovecraft here.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
It's very. It's. Yeah. It's. I mean, he's well, and Junji Ito's been very clear that he's very heavily inspired by that style of
Sure.
horror.
Mm-hmm.
But I love, like, he's definitely got some very interesting existential things, and like the whole. I don't know if you've ever read the graphic novel Uzumaki. Well, I don't know if it's a graphic novel or it's just a compilation. I think it's just a compilation of comics, but Uzumaki, which is basically the spiral, and it's just like this recurring sort of body horror thing of people that are slowly become these weird spirals of flesh.
Is that one of Junji Ito's
Yeah.
books? Or yeah.
And it's messed up, but it's very good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything he does is pretty messed up, but really cool art.
Let's discard that. Let's play that. All right, and yeah, let's get a Marianne in here.
Yay.
We're also talking about possibly looking at doing something with Demon Slayer.
Ooh.
But there's a lot of great licenses out there to work with, and I only have so many days in the year.
Right. No, I feel that for sure.
But it's been good being stuck at home this last year. I've had time to get started on all kinds of new projects and do all kinds of things. So
nice.
Let's see.
So when it comes to Japanime Games, how do you see the company sort of changing and growing over the next few years?
Well, we'll be hiring some new people and getting back into the convention circuit, which it feels like a change. It's just going back to what we used to do.
Right.
And I mean, mostly, what the hell, I'll buy a love. Most of the game designers we work with are, I shouldn't say mostly, they're all out of the company. I don't have any game designers strictly on payroll, and that might be something that we end up changing in the future, bringing game designers onto payroll to have them help with dev work and just help bring games to the finished product.
Nice.
But right now, all of the designers I work, I mean, some of our games are from Japan. Most of them are from Japan originally that we localize into other languages. And then some games are designed by friends of mine, game designers in Canada or in America. We're working with Lindbander Studios on quite a few different projects. But yeah, I mean, as we grow, we may end up branching out in different directions. We're also doing a lot of our games into many different languages.
Oh, nice.
We have produced our games in up to 8 different languages now. There's obviously Japanese, English, French, German, Spanish, Portuguese, Chinese, Korean.
Nice.
But also we've started up a new division of the company in France, where my daughter is now working for me. She lives in Paris.
Nice.
And she is working to help bring more awareness to our products in France as we're doing more French language editions of our games.
Very cool. Now, for the localization process for those translations, do you have in-house translators, or are you sort of freelancing that work out, so to speak?
I have partners that I'm working with.
Nice.
They're consistent freelancers or publishers that are doing editions of our games.
Nice.
So yeah.
Very cool. That's exciting. Speaking of France and sort of Euro games, I know obviously the company is Japanime Games, and that's the theme. But just out of curiosity, what are some tabletop game types that maybe you don't have a lot of in the Japanime Games catalog that you'd like to see more of in the future for the company.
Well, digital games.
Yeah, valid.
Yeah,
valid.
right. We want to bring more of our games to the computer.
Yep.
But we're new with role playing games, bringing Besom on board. So. Do I have any more servings left? I do. I'm going to need another one though, because I'm going to draw 3 more cards. And well, never mind. I guess never mind. I have nothing else I can play anyway. But I have 14 left.
Wow. All right.
Yeah, so much.
And I thought I was doing good with my last turn.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Let's see. Oh, I just love my little purple-haired rocket launcher girl.
She's pretty great. She really is.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, we're doing more with French language. So Chainsomnia, for instance, that's on Kickstarter right now. We're making that available to people to get in both English or French.
Nice.
As part of the original launch, which is not something we normally do. We normally bring a game into English first, and then we'll do other language editions.
That makes sense. So that's pretty cool to have that be all done at the same time. That's pretty nice. Yeah. And Chainsomnia looks very interesting. Do you want to give a quick high level of kind of what that game is about?
Oh, it's a co-op game. You're all playing a small child that is wrapped up in a nightmare, and throughout the game you're moving through the rooms of this mansion, and every turn you can flip over a new room tile and build out the mansion, and you're trying to make your way through it and get to the end of it where you wake up and break out of the mansion. But there's a demon that's trying to trap you all into this nightmare. So anytime you get a chain on your player card, it's called Chainsomnia. It's like insomnia with chains, and the demon's trying to trap you in the mansion. So you're trying to work together to break out of it.
Nice.
Yeah, I think it's an awesome game. It's got some aspects of Betrayal of the House on the Hill with the different room tiles. It has kind of the look of that, but it plays very, very differently than that.
Yeah. And it was actually one of the things that I was really excited to see go up on Kickstarter and kind of check that out, because I had heard a little bit about it before it was going up and kind of just seeing what was going on. So I was pretty excited to see that style of game, plus the actual theme of it just seems really interesting to me, and also sort of creepy in a way. It reminds me, not exactly the same, but it gives me the same vibes as the Terrifying Girl Disorder.
Right.
Where you kind of are like piecing together your psyche out of these various different options, which I think is really cool.
Speaking of horror, Japanese horror, our next Tanto game is underway. It's under works right now.
Yes.
And that's something I haven't told anybody about outside of the company. We're working on the Haunted Manor version of Tanto Cuore. That's going to be the 6th set. Nice. And the game is going to be half and half dead ghost maids and alive maids. Interesting. That sounds like, honestly, way too much fun, if I'm being real. It's really cool.
Nice.
And I have a friend working on the designs along with the original Japanese designer. They're doing it together. And it's going to be very cool.
And I believe is that Rich that you're referring to?
No. It's my friend Ross Allison.
Ross, thank you. I say that my brain went Rich.
And Ross is actually a ghost hunter. That's his day job.
Nice.
I guess it's his night job. He likes to spend his time going around haunted houses and graveyards and all of that. And he lives up in Seattle and does a tour called Spooked in Seattle. That's very, very popular, although it's been shut down because of COVID. But eventually he'll be back at that again.
Nice. And again, spoiler alert, Ross is actually due to be our guest for the 4th episode of this series. So
That's right.
so he'll be showing us a little bit more of the Spoopy Maids, as well as just talking about some of that process and how he got into the design stuff a little bit, and probably will be able to shed even more light about that. So if that sounds like something the people watching are interested in, join us again in a few weeks.
Yeah, I'm really excited. So Ross is going to come visit me in about a month, and we're going to be doing a lot of play testing on the new upcoming game.
Nice. That's going to be a lot of fun, which is very, very cool. Let's see here. It's an interesting question. Sorry, I have my list here. I'm just trying to catch up. But this is a weird question. This actually comes from one of my friends here asking, what is the game that escaped you that you wish you could have made?
Attack on Titan. I mean, as far as a game license.
Yeah.
So years ago, I was working on getting the Attack on Titan license, and then Cryptozoic ended up doing it. And so that was something that really frustrated me at the time.
I feel that.
Yeah, because of course, Attack on Titan was the hottest thing at the time. But we may still. We may end up doing it eventually. Anyway, we'll see.
Nice. Well, I can see where that would definitely be a bummer to have missed out on that opportunity, but it's still. But again, there's always different things that can happen in the future, so that's still pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then let's take a look here. All right, we've covered a lot of these questions here. And if anyone has any questions that are watching, please feel free to jump in there. I'm just checking a look in the chat to see if anyone did ask anything yet. Doesn't look like it at the moment. But let's see here.
And I'm short one serving, but 18 love.
Wow. Oh my goodness, that is.
Well, I guess that's 2 Mariannes right there.
Right. That's also like your entire deck at once.
There you go. Your turn.
Oh, thanks. Thanks a lot. All right. Well, let's see what we can do here. So we got this. Well, we can definitely discard this. I might as well discard that because why not? And then we'll do this, and we'll do a bit of this, and we'll discard these two, and we'll play that, and that, and that.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
And that, and that's still not anywhere near as impressive as your last round was, but I think I'll go ahead and buy the last Marianne. And then I guess I'll grab one of these two. Yeah, or I could just buy 2 more ones. No, that's just silly. I'm just gonna buy one of those. All right, sounds good. All right. So yeah, kind of just piggybacking on Erica's How to Prove a Point.
Yeah.
Not wrong. Yes, I can't get rid of those. Pardon everyone for the random stream notifications that are popping up in the corner. Fortunately, there's not really a way to mask that right now. We'll figure that out for next time. But just know that my friends are playing some games.
Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
so here's my question. If there's out of your game catalog that currently exists, what would be the next game after Tanto that you'd like to see made digital?
Kamigami Battles.
Yeah, good choice.
That's pretty much our plan. So
nice.
We're going to be focusing on Tanto all year.
Mm-hmm.
After this one releases, we're going to do the second set, Expanding the House.
Yep.
What do I want to grab here? What maid wants to come join into my mansion? Let's see. Genevieve. Why not? Okay. And
what is the purple soup she has made?
I don't know. But shouldn't I be able to play Genevieve right now?
You ran out of servings, it looks like?
But
you should.
Okay. That'll do it. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't realize I ran out of servings. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to be focusing on getting all of the Tanto Cuore games out on digital. And then after that, the plan is to work on Kamikaze battles.
Panic attack subsides from we don't know games.
There we go.
Valid. Love it. But yeah, no, very, very cool. Good to see. And can we talk? I want to ask you a question, but I'm not sure if I'm allowed to ask you the question or not yet. For a certain
I don't know.
tactical game, can we talk about that, or can we?
Sure, we can talk about it.
Because it's honestly the game, the one of the upcoming things that I'm super, super excited about.
Sure. And honestly, I want to talk about it a lot more than I can yet. We don't have approvals on showing the art yet, which is what I really want to show people, but I can talk about it just fine. So, Japanime Tactics.
Yeah.
Japanime Tactics, I'm thinking at this point, we were planning on releasing it around Anime Expo this year, but of course, Anime Expo has been canceled.
Right.
And but I'm thinking now we might release it at Gen Con in October.
Nice.
So we have several anime licenses lined up that are going to be tied in with this. The first one being Grand Blue Fantasy, which is got the great JRPG aspect to it. It's an anime, and it is a video game, and it's also a fighting game now too with Grand Blue Duel. But so that's the first one. We're also working on Black Clover and several other things that are in the works that I'm not going to get into right now, but it's a very, very fun design. And I think our fans will love it. We put a lot of work into it. I've got so many purple-haired maids.
You have all the everything. You've got a very some very purple energy right now.
I do.
And I think I've decided that purple soup is just a really purple borscht. That's what I've decided.
Is that what it is?
I think so. It's the only thing that makes sense to me.
That's what I love Marianne's for. Trading Marianne's for more servants.
Yes, that's actually the best indeed.
Do I want to keep discarding things? I've got 2 servants. No, we'll just cancel that. See what comes next. Oh man, I need another. Okay, we're going to discard that. We're going to draw 3 more cards. We're going to then play some more purple maids.
Yep.
Oh, discard some more cards. This is working. Oh, now do I want to chamber Colette or get more love? I've got 4 love, 6, 10, 11, 12, 13 love. Oh, there's not even any Marianne's left to buy.
No, there are not.
Okay, we'll just go ahead and chamber her and play the love, 10 love, more anise, and Saffron, and go.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see. We're coming down to the wire here. All right, let's see.
We're down to 2 cards of a couple of types here.
Yeah. All right. Let's go. Got to start with that. That'll be good. Okay. Do that.
So Japanime Tactics, it's really going to be our biggest product over the course, once it releases over the course of next year, because we have base games and expansions to it and different IPs that we're going to be drawing into it. And you can kind of compare the idea there with HeroClix, in that you can play Marvel versus DC or whatever. Same kind of thing here. You can play characters from Grand Blue Fantasy versus Black Clover versus Sword Art, whatever IPs we may or may not end up making to add into this.
Right.
And then you can build a team to play against your opponents. There'll be character packs, and it's a mixture of a card game and a miniatures game as well. Tie game? What?
Tie?
Oh my God.
I'm actually kind of impressed by that, to be honest.
Wow, that's funny.
That is funny.
I don't know, Ian. That seems like a waste of an hour right there. Are we going to flip a coin? Are we going to flip a coin? I mean, how can we call it that? Is there a tiebreaker?
I mean, there isn't officially.
I hope it's.
Technically, it listed me
chambered maids.
Right.
I've got the most cards in my deck.
You do have the most cards in your deck.
I don't know.
We both have the same Ophelia.
What's the tiebreaker?
Right. We should go ahead and put a poll in the chats, and we'll decide who the winner is.
Yeah.
Tiebreakers. I think the tiebreaker is supposed to be who employs the most general maids, which I think means you.
Well, I certainly have employed the most booth maids.
Yeah.
I've had the most booth maids over the year. Yes, after all the conventions we've had, all the maids we've had in our booth, that's how we first started years ago in Seattle at Sagrada Con. When we were first promoting Tanto Cuore, we hired these Japanese exchange students in Seattle to dress up in maid outfits and go demo the game, and it was a huge hit.
Nice.
One of these girls was named Minami. I always called her Mini Me, but she was very short, and I'm sure she still is very short. She was like, I don't know, 4'11". And so she's demoing the game, and we have these bar height tables, and so she was so tiny. So I started having her just stand on top of a case of Tanto Cuore games, and so she got up to the playing level, and that worked. But we ended up getting all these cases with her shoes denting them.
Wait, are those worth more or less? Like,
I don't know. I don't know. They're certainly classics. Those were the original Japanese printed games from the very first printing way back when. Very cool. At this point, I believe we've done 7 printings of Tanto Cuore. I mean, it's been a hit. It's done well.
Yeah,
the first printing in English was only 1,000 copies, so those are pretty hard to get. To find the original Japanese printed ones with our original blue logo before we upgraded to the red logo.
Nice.
So that's how you know you had the first ones.
Right. No, that's awesome. We do actually have a question in chat. I don't know if we can answer it, but we do have a question from Beta One Blocker, who asks, regarding the haunted set that we've just talked about, will it also follow with having butlers along with the maids like Winter Romance, or is it still just going to be spoopy maids?
I think so. I think it will have butlers as well. The plan is to do 50-50 live and dead characters. In fact, I know Ross plans on putting himself in the game, so there's definitely going to be one butler.
At least one butler.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah.
I have this neat idea. We were discussing having like a medium, a seance maid that would allow you to bring some of the dead maids to summon them or something. We're talking about different aspects with that, but yes, nice. there will be at least one butler. I'm sure we'll have several.
Nice. Love to see it. Love to see it. Also, I love the Wasabi anime just asked, what if the poll also ends in a tie? Well, we're about to find out. We got a few moments left on that poll, and that'll bring us right to the end of the show. So in the last 2 minutes that we got, is there anything else you wanted to talk about? Anything else you wanted to say?
I'm excited to get back to conventions again later this year.
Yes.
That'll be a lot of fun. I mean, I haven't seen you since
back a little over a year now.
Yeah. But hopefully, I mean, I don't know if have you been able to get a vaccine?
I have not. However, I should have one before my state is open. Oh yeah, I'll definitely have one before Gen Con. My state should have them access to me on my birthday, actually. So is when they open up for when I can get access. So it's hey, if that's what my birthday present is, I'm here for it. But yeah, so hopefully within the next month or so, I should be fully vaccinated and ready to go. So I plan to be ready in times for Gen Con. So.
They say in our state, it's going to be by the beginning of May, all of Oregon, which is where I'm at, should be able to be vaccinated. And of course, they say by the end of May, all of America. So, and beyond that, it's like 3 to 4 months afterwards for Gen Con. So I'm feeling good about it.
Me too.
And I obviously people have their different comfort levels of where they want to be, but I'm pretty sure we're gonna make Gen Con this year.
Nice. All right. Well, thank you, everyone. And the question is, I can't show you the pets because we are out of time. And I don't personally have one. I don't know if Eric does. But thank you all for joining us for this very first episode of the Game Room. We will be back next week. Again, thank you to Eric Price for being our first guest. And look forward to doing more.
Yeah, thanks for having me. That was fun.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for the stream.